Okay, so in the last tutorial we discussed about the constructor injection. So let's see one more point about the constructor injection. Here I am just having one constructor with two arguments. Let me have one more constructor. Say I'm having this constructor which has only one argument. Right, so here I am having two constructors, and in the string.xml I am setting the value. So which constructor I am calling? Just like in Java, we are calling a constructor with two arguments. So let's just try to run it out and see what's the output. It's giving me Delhi 245. That is right, because what it does, it makes a call to the director class and the constructor which is having that two arguments, and depending upon the type, the Spring makes a decision to which argument which value needs to be assigned. Now let me just call a constructor with one argument. Right, so let's see if it makes a call to it or not. Yes, it is making a call to it, but what it does for the second one, since we are printing it, you can see in the director class, if we go to the address, we are getting two values. So what it does, it gives the default value to my global variable, which is an integer, so the value is 0. Right, so this is how constructor injection works as compared to the setter injection. Now, how to choose whether we need to go for the constructor injection or a setter injection in my application? The first is that, as I told you before, the constructor injection assumes, of course, this assumes that the bean constructor has all of the bean dependency in the parameter list. So when we want to set all the member variables of a class, then we prefer to go for the constructor injection. And when we want that only some member variables should be set and others should not be set, then we can definitely go for the setter injection. For example, suppose you are creating a bean that has only one mandatory property, then constructor injection would be a good choice. But if you are having a bean which has multiple optional properties, that okay, this member variable can be set but this cannot be set, so then setter injection would be an appropriate choice. Similarly, if in the constructor injection we are using, then there is no need of setter and the getter methods. This will help you to keep the line of code minimal in the case of a class. So you can just remove all this setter and getter because you're setting it now through constructor. So in that case also we can do it. And by allowing the properties to be set through constructor, you are in effect making those properties immutable. That is, you can't change it later. So that is an immutable way. And also constructor injection is easy to test, so it's better to use the constructor injection. Right, so that's all about the constructor and the setter injection.